In theory, every car in Assetto Corsa Competizione should be somewhat similar in terms of lap time on any given circuit. In reality though, every car is different. Some might be fast on straights, while others are flying through corners. So, what would be your answer if someone asked you which car is actually the fastest? This exact scenario recently happened to me when a friend of mine, who just purchased the game, decided to try out the multiplayer. I really didn't know what to say, but tried to sound as professional as possible, stating, well, you know, it depends, because all of these cars are under the effect from BOP. For those of you who don't know what it is balance of performance, where the cars should be made equal by some regulations, which mainly influence the weight or the engine power of the cars. So for every track there should be one car which handles it best, but the others are not far off as well. Obviously confused, he replied, yeah, whatever, just tell me which car has the highest top speed, okay? And again, I didn't know the answer, just said, well, the Lamborghini of course, what else? But I actually had no clue, to be honest. This led me to asking the real questions. Is the Lamborghini actually anywhere near the fastest car in ACC? And if so, what is its top speed? This and more will be uncovered later in this video, so stay tuned. First of all, we need to find ourselves the perfect test environment. Since we are testing top speeds, a long straight would be ideal. And which track has the longest straight? Correct. Not our beloved Spa, but rather the French circuit Paul Ricard in Les Castillets, or however it is pronounced correctly. Every car will be stationary at a set position and then accelerate from the beginning of the straight right to the end, where the top speed is going to be recorded. Also, for every car, a new setup is created where all aerodynamic elements, like the splitter, the rear wing, and also the ride height, are set to their lowest settings. There will be several tests in several categories. The acceleration from 0 to 100, the acceleration from 100 to 200, and finally the top speed at the end of the straight. To measure the acceleration, I am going to use the in-game timer. The displayed time will be taken at the frame the first throttle input is registered, and also at the first frame, which displays 100 km per hour on the digital gauge in the bottom right of the screen. This makes every value accurate to approximately 0.016 seconds, since we are running at 60 frames per second. Thus, every value will be rounded to 100th of a second. To be able to get the most accurate results, I tried to eliminate as much interference from my side as possible. So the shifting will be done by the game, and the traction control is also set to its max settings, which are slightly different from car to car, but there really is no other way around this problem. The only remaining part, which I am solely in charge of, is to drive the car in a straight line, which should be doable somehow. Every car runs its test under equal conditions. The grip levels of the track are set to optimum. The session mode is hot lap, and the weather is always sunny. Since there are quite a few cars in ACC and not everyone wants to watch every car, I'm going to only show you the 3 best and the 3, let's say, most uncompetitive cars per category, and then compare the video footages of said cars. In the end, there will also be a table with all cars and their individual results. But for now, let's jump into the first category, acceleration from 0 to 100. Third fastest car is the Porsche 991 Cup car with 3.55 seconds. On the second step of the podium is the Lamborghini Huracan with 3.52 seconds. And finally, the winner of the acceleration category is a car that very much flew under my radar until now. And it is the Reiter Engineering Rex with a time of 3.50 seconds. But since there always has to be someone who loses, we are going through the most uncompetitive cars rather quickly. With a time of 5.05 seconds, the third place goes to the Lexus RCF. The second place, with exactly 5.1 seconds, is taken by the Aston Martin Vantage. And the absolutely slowest car on the grid is the McLaren 650S with a time of 5.11 seconds. To me, these results are more or less not as conclusive as I would have liked them, since a lot of the acceleration is down to how well the individual traction controls work and not how much power a car has. So let's take a look at the two podiums of the fastest and the slowest accelerators. Since the 0 to 100 acceleration event was not as expressive of individual engine power, hopes are up high for the 100 to 200 acceleration tests. So start your engines and let's go! This time, the third fastest car had a time of 6.09 seconds and is the other Porsche, the 911 GT3R. Only 0.04 seconds faster, but again performing very strongly, is the Reiter Engineering Rex. And the winner of this event is one of the losers of the 0 to 100 acceleration. It is the Aston Martin Vantage with a time of 5.92 seconds. On the other hand, with a time of 6.88 seconds, the third slowest car is the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. Second and first place are actually on par with the exact same time, with 6.97 seconds the Honda Acura NSX and the McLaren 650S. So let's see how those acceleration differences look this time. Last but not least, we are going to take the most interesting test where mostly pure engine power matters, the top speed event. In third place, with 285 km per hour, are the Reiter Engineering Rex and the Lamborghini Huracan. Just 1 km per hour faster, and on the second step of the podium is again the Aston Martin Vantage. And the winner of our top speed test, and this is quite a funny story because the straight was actually too long for this car and it hit its rev limiter way before it ended, is the Porsche 991 Cup car with sensational 289 km per hour. On the other side of the spectrum, the three slowest cars in terms of top speed are the Bentley Continental from 2015 with 278 km per hour, the Porsche 911 GT3R with 277 km per hour, and finally the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo with 269 km per hour. So, as I promised you in the beginning, here are a few tables with the individual values from all cars. In the end, it should be stated though that the results are not only down to the engine power, but also to how much downforce a car potentially has. This explains, for example, why the Porsche Cup car is more or less faster than the 911 GT3R. However, there's probably a future video coming about downforce, or maybe even which car has the most potential aerodynamic capabilities, so stay tuned for the next one. And if you have any remarks, questions or suggestions, you can leave a comment below. Cheers!